I was just
Dude,
dressed up for you guys, you know?
You look
we
great.
appreciate it. Yeah, you look fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
So you are getting married this weekend. Tell us about that. What's the
little
plans?
birdie tells
Shut
us.
the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm getting married on Saturday.
Where are you doing it?
In Brisbane at an Italian restaurant in the wine cellar.
Ooh,
Our invitation must have got lost. That's all right, bro.
Must have got lost.
that's weird.
Big wine drinker, so I figured I would surround myself with wine.
Sure. Yeah. How's the wedding? I have no idea. I don't remember a thing.
Yeah, I don't even want to go anymore. Like, there's going to be too many people there. So
I was going to ask you, are you a big elaborate wedding guy, or have you wanted to keep it
it's
a
like
bit smaller?
65 people. Like,
is that big for a wedding? Is that a lot of people?
I think that's small.
Yeah, it's on the small side. I'm getting married in 7 weeks, and
shit,
we have 105 coming to ours.
Have you already done the culling, or this?
Yeah, that was culled down. We had like 130 to start with, and we're just like, oh, I can't afford that. That's ridiculous much money.
Expensive.
Yeah, man. Yeah, people see wedding and they're just like, oh, I'm going to add $7,000 to that bill.
Yeah.
How was the culling and stuff for you? Have you had anyone that was
pretty? I mean, there's a few people that I just haven't told because I know they'd be upset. Yeah. So I just wait for them to find out after and be like, oh, we just had to cull. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah, after the fact, easy. Before.
Yeah, I'm not telling people, like, it's my wedding. It's not up to them if they come or not. It's up to me. So I was like, I'll do the culling, inform those people after the fact. And, you can just say, oh, yeah, it was just a real small thing. And they'll be like, wait.
I'm going to do the same thing with Johnny.
Looking at the photos and finding who's there. They'll be like, he values that person more than me. And it's like, fuck, I don't care.
Yeah. How are you on the family side of things? Does you or your partner have a family?
My family all lives in the States, so not many are coming. And Soph is an only child, and her parents are ancient. So upstairs, they arrived last night, so they're staying at a hotel across the street. But they're like, 77? So like, a lot of older siblings.
That's Johnny's age.
Yeah. Well,
spring chicken.
Ancient.
So I guess that explains the less than death metal trim we have had.
Yeah, it's all chopped off.
Damn. It looks fucking healthy though.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got nice hair, fantastic hair.
You really do. Do you? That's what people want to know about. Let's talk about your hair care secrets right now.
Yeah.
People love talking about that when you're talking deathcore. But actually, it looks luscious.
I shampoo my hair maybe once a month, so
How do you feel about because I'm on the bandwagon of I don't ever wash my hair.
Yeah,
you don't use soap and shit either, eh?
No, I use water. I wash with just water.
Yeah, I'm pretty anti-soap. I don't wear any perspirant either. Like,
we know we've been around you.
Al natural. Don't brush my teeth. Like don't wipe my ass.
Oh, dude, have you?
In that case, you smell great.
Huh?
Do you know the band Bill Murray?
No, I know the actor Bill Murray.
No, there's a band Bill Murray, Bilmuri. It's the old guitarist, clean singer from Attack Attack, and he has like this weird genre-bending band. But their social media stuff, Johnny fucking loves it. I hate it because the whole thing is just like anti-wiping and weird. Like that's like a thing they go down, being like,
yeah. This song was made for cranking it in the shower and shit like that. And I'm just like, this is great.
Yeah, so weird. But yeah, the whole concept. They've got merch that's like fuck wiping, stuff like that. Like it's really weird.
I had an interesting one come over my how would you say, computer desk earlier today in a call. Let me quickly just pull it up for you. Do I have it? It's in my Dropbox. Just a little taste for what's coming next month.
Oh, God.
Should be worried.
Yeah.
Is this a merch design?
Yeah, I've got to turn off my blur thing.
No, not your blur thing.
Forgive my my background. My guitar tech has been staying at my house and is sleeping on the floor in my office.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's really good.
I was like, are you guys fucking for real? And they're like, yeah. I go, all right. I'll print it, boys.
Sure. Why not?
1,000 copies of it.
Yeah, that's 100% what's going to happen. That's a pretty big tour, too. There's a lot of people going to be at that tour.
Yeah.
People Johnny's already pre-ordered too, just since you showed us that.
You know what? I'm of the anti-swearing shirt side.
Yeah, me too.
No, I wouldn't buy a shirt that's got a swear word. So fun story. So my lovely girlfriend has no children, but she's fantastic with mine. Anyway, she was going to come along and do school pickup one afternoon with my lovely primary school children, and had a motionless in white shirt on that said on the back, "Open your fucking eyes" in giant letters. And I said, I mean, like, it's a great shirt, but maybe you shouldn't wear that one to school pickup.
Yeah, the primary school don't need to.
She's like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. And it's something that I guess.
Do you have your phone in your pocket?
Yeah.
Can you please get up your Either Hunter merch just to show this? Because I know you say you're anti-swearing. This is Johnny's old band. This is a t-shirt that they genuinely sold and had and thought was a good idea. And I always fucking hated it.
It's going to take me a minute to find. So
it'd be worth finding.
Yeah. Do you remember the band from Melbourne, Electric Dynamite?
Yeah, I know those.
So Ryan, the old singer, designed this for us. And I will find it, but it might take. Great band, great people.
While you do that, I'll do the thing we're supposed to do and talk about the new album, because that's why we have you on here, is to spruik your merchandise and your new music. Hey, the new stuff is the most accessible but still crushingly heavy stuff you guys have done. Well done.
Have you heard the whole thing?
No, we've only heard a few songs.
Oh, I mean, can I trust you? Do you want the whole thing?
Yeah.
There's a chance it's in our inbox right now. We just don't know how to use our emails properly.
Yeah, we're pretty bad at that sort of stuff.
This morning I did another interview and I was like, I haven't heard the album. What's going on? And then it was just in another folder in our inbox and it had been sent like 4 times. So pretty good ad jobs. But we've only heard the singles so far.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked.
Yeah, I found it.
It's back to here. Show me that, please.
So look, it's not what we asked for.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Oh, Johnny, I don't like swearing, but if you've got a horse, so here's the story. Here's how it goes. Here's how it goes. So my idea when
word is P, so you know.
Yeah. Well, my idea when I pitched it to Ryan was to have like a pin-up girl with a horse head over her, but like as if it had been cut out of a magazine and put on top, and then the band name to look like it was coming through the paper, like, and he took that as coming out of the girl. And I remember getting that and going, oh my God, and taking that to band practice to show the boys. I was like, we can't use that, can we? And we've gone, no, we can't. And we've all looked at each other and go, but we're going to, aren't we? And we're like, yeah, we're going to. And
filthy boy.
They sold like hotcakes. I couldn't believe it. Band was shit. But
weirdly, the band's not around anymore.
Yeah, no. Obviously, you're onto a hit with that one.
Anyway, back to what we were talking about. New music. Fucking sick. Well written.
Accessible but heavy, you know? It's good
way
to sing it.
But it still sounds like people wouldn't hear it and be like, oh, this is a different band. It still has all of the nuances that make thy art, but it is more accessible to more of the metal genres, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Was that a conscious decision?
I think, yeah, that's a good way of summarizing it. And for sure it was like the guiding, you know, sometimes people make statements or promises to themselves about what they're going to try and accomplish. Ours wasn't like a statement, but it was a question. Can you imagine performing this on a big outdoor festival stage in front of 20,000 people? Yes or no? Regardless of whether it's good, sick, heavy, crazy. Can you imagine it being performed at this scale? Yes or no? And if it was no, then it was like, all right, let's put that on the side. Maybe it'll go on a B side. Maybe we'll use it somewhere else. But let's focus on increasing how you can imagine it going and then using that as like kind of our guide.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So that's a question we've asked people. It's been like, do you write for the performance? Is that something that over time and experience of writing the albums and knowing what you're playing, what the response is, do you think that's something you couldn't have done on the second album, but coming out now, you're like, okay, now we know what we want, what works, what we want to perform. Now we can write for that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like we're sitting down after the show taking notes like this was 7 out of 10 reaction from the crowd. Although I have heard that Gojira do that after every single show.
No way.
They record and film every performance, and as soon as they finish, they watch it on the bus with their whole crew, which is, I mean, you could say it's crazy. I think it's crazy. I'm not that contrived. But also, in a way, like their commitment to perfecting everything that they're doing is pretty insane dedication. So it's not like we're doing that, but over time, and we're playing, for tours, we'll do the same set for maybe a tour or a whole series of tours for 3 months. You are, subconsciously building up this, I don't know, Rolodex of crowd response to those songs. And you kind of go, this one over time is working. This one isn't. Can we identify what might be making it work and what might not be? There's a few other things.
I know that we're all old. You just referenced a Rolodeck and no one questioned it. We'd have people watch this video being like, what the fuck's a Rolodeck?
It was like a physical form of your contact section on your iPhone. But yeah, there's a lot of things that we got to take into consideration now when planning for the future. Like, we want to play on the bigger stages, so we got to play music that's conducive to being on those stages. Doing like a halftime uber slow mosh breakdown on the China, probably like everyone would be standing there just going, what the fuck is this?
It's coming, wait for it, I promise.
Yeah. It gets faster.
And at the same time, like some crazy 300 BPM tech death thing, same thing. And another point to that, while we've introduced more groovy elements, is those bigger stages, you're moving a lot of air with the PA, and there's a lot of air coming left to right, just blowing and washing that out. The faster you get, the easier it is for that sound to get lost between the speaker and your fans' ears.
That's a cool fucking consideration, dude. Like, to actually think about that. I don't think there'd be
sound,
many bands, not that I know of, would actually be like, and that's a reason that we didn't write for this speed or something, because we know that that's going to happen in a festival setting.
I think, it may not be the cause, but there may be a correlation. When you look at bands that headline big festivals, they're not doing anything too crazy. I think that might have to do with why they translate so well in a live setting.
Yeah. Well, with bigger stages also, and as you get more popular, it's not just about being on a bigger stage, it's about longer set times, And I know that Parkway Drive had said that we foresaw in the future that's where we wanted to get to. So if we were playing super fast metalcore, an hour and a half or 2 hours of that is going to be boring as batshit, not only to everyone else, but to them as well.
Yeah.
And it's all about dynamics and mixing it up. So when you guys are doing an hour and a half set, people are going to really welcome all these other elements anyway.
I think so. It gives us more colors to choose from when designing a set list for the live arena. Also, I get what Parkway is saying, and we are for sure taking that approach. Our music is just a little bit faster and more difficult to perform. To the point, and maybe it was a similar judgment call on their part. Like, we know that this music is already difficult for us to perform now. Yeah. How much more difficult and taxing will it be to perform in 5 to 10 years from now? So just adjusting course now to prepare for the future, to make sure that, we can perform the material to the best of our abilities in the future where we may not be as fit or
you don't want to be that band that's like playing all their stuff, just getting progressively worse at it, and there's like, well, I guess it's time to drop the butt rock album now.
Exactly. Like, we want to have that be a gradual development, and also we want to play our own music. We don't want to be getting to 45 and calling up some new whiz kid that's 20 being like, you need to play for Die Hard is Murder now because we're too old.
Off the back of that, what's your least favorite song to play because of that's in your current set list? What's like the hardest or most taxing for you to play currently that you have to play all the time?
At the moment, I don't even know what the set list is yet. Like, I'm still working up for the next tour. But off these tours that we did recently, the Decade I Hate one, Immolation, for sure, was the fastest guitar playing I've ever recorded. And I had to really take it easy playing that song, because if your blood pressure goes up too much, it's becomes physically more difficult to play that fast.
But yeah, recording it in the studio, you're like, this is great. Like, people are going to think this is fucking
so
awesome. I'm so
No
fast.
regrets.
Yeah, not thinking about 35, 40,
Oh,
45
dude, I mean, I
year-old
did
me.
it like 12 years ago. What the hell was I thinking? I played guitar like 8 to 10 hours a day every day when I was younger, and nowadays I haven't played guitar since the last time we've done a show, which is about a month ago.
Oh, so you don't sort of keep up chops now, or before a tour, do you sort of He's like, I'm good enough. Look at him.
He's planning a wedding,
new
doesn't he?
haircut, getting married.
Yeah, I mean, look, I am, but we maybe we try to practice a day or two before the tour, or that's why you book like these small shows at the start of the tour. You just warm up show.
I think it's funny you said off the back of like I wrote that so long ago. Does that ever come into like a lyrical side of things for CJ? Because like talking with Sean from Make Them Suffer, they just did that Everbloom, Neverbloom tour, and he was like, "What the fuck was I writing this stuff? It's so wordy. That's so hard to do continuously." Is that something that you ever think about from like a lyrical standpoint for CJ? Be like, don't throw too many words at, because that's hard to continue doing that.
Well, it's something that I've focused more on with the lyric writing lately, is trying to use less words. Because he complains all the time. He's like, "You and Will put so many lyrics in the song. I'm fucking sick of it." Like, if I had my way, I'd just like go, and the song would be done. I'm like, well, we can't do that.
Should try that.
Yeah, you should try it. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Watch that become your number one song at festivals, though.
Yeah.
Just like a big thing, and then it's like, oh, people would lose their fucking minds.
Yeah,
look at the knock loose.
But the thing is, it'd be a cop out, because CJ wouldn't end up doing it. You'd be playing like
crowd.
30 seconds, and then you just hold the mic out.
Hold the mic out, and I go, "Oh God, what are we doing this for?" But no, I mean, and this plays into that sustainability in the future. What he does is very taxing on the human body. There's not many people in the world that even do what he does, and then do what he does and be as good as he is. It's pretty taxing on him, I know for sure. So he's asked to please put less words into the songs, and we tried. I mean, we will try more. We've also he's been experimenting with more voices, things that are less draining on him.
Sure.
Because people are like, oh, they're getting old, they're getting weak. It's like, bro, you go out and play for 75 minutes a night for 30 nights in a row. It's boiling hot, it's freezing cold, and then try and do what he does. It's crazy. So not, changing the whole vocal style, but just introducing, is it a verse here? Is it a bridge there? A bit where he can pull back from 100% to say 70 or 80%.
Yeah.
And it's to be the culmination of moments like that throughout the set that will sustain him through it, and across a tour, and across multiple tours, across many years.
And across keeping people involved and behind it too. I think, as you said, hearing 2.5 hours of just relentless noise is a lot. You can people get over that. Whereas if you kind of pull back and have those moments that allows it to stretch and do a bit more, it's going to keep people interested.
Yeah,
particularly when they have that fast stuff on your older stuff as well. It's not like you're just not playing that anymore.
Yeah, we got a lot of different colors to choose from these days.
What's your favorite color?
Yellow.
Black.
Yellow. That is so unexpected. Why yellow?
What do you mean, why yellow?
I don't know anyone that likes yellow the best.
Love yellow.
Yeah, why?
Do you like bananas?
Bees. That's a cool reason. I like that.
The bees die, we die, bro. So,
do you have a beehive?
When I was younger, this is kind of cruel. I used to refrigerate bees and tie a string to their leg and tie the other one to my finger so I could fly the bee around.
That is cruel.
Don't know if
That's one that I did not expect that sentence to be spoke on this chat at all.
Have you ever done that?
No.
That's what you did. I was a little kid growing up in Hawaii, just going like walking the dog, but it's a bee.
Wheeler got stung every day.
Yeah. No, you can only get stung once, otherwise they die.
I think they die every time he puts in the fridge, mate.
I would hate to get stung by a bee because I feel really bad when they die. So
exactly. Yeah, it's like you gave it your best shot and yoink.
I got stung by a bee playing beer pong recently, just on the back of the neck. I didn't do anything. I didn't agitate. I was just playing, and I got like a sharp pain in the back of my neck.
He was doing that because he knew you were an imposter and you didn't actually drink the beer.
Yeah, that's a fun game for me.
I was
to play.
about to ask about that. I'm like, you don't fucking drink alcohol.
No, but my partner does. We had my bucks on the weekend, and we did like a scavenger hunt that involved drinking, and my partner just had to take my drinks because it's like 4 drinks per team. He got drunk.
Yeah, we had to do some shocking cocktails.
I didn't mind it. We had an Irish car bomb. It's
yeah, I've had those.
Guinness. Yep. What was it?
Guinness with
Jameson and Baileys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? It's actually the Guinness is better when you put the Baileys in there because Guinness tastes like absolute dog shit.
You just have to neck it because it'll curdle if you let it sit there too long.
It curdled instantly. Yeah.
It was pretty gross, man.
No, I didn't mind it.
I got into a fight in Waikiki after drinking too many Irish car bombs.
That sounds about
too
right.
many. So you actually legitimately went and ordered multiple of them.
Probably had like 20 of them.
Fucking hell, that's impressive.
It's a lot of drinks.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
And then he went and froze a bee and took it for a walk.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about more music stuff. Your music videos, they're insane, man. Like the amount of thought and effort that's gone into them, and I'm assuming dollars, is fucking wild, dude. Is this part of, like thy art's current shift in, stylistically, visually? Is it something like you thought, well, if we're going to start doing things differently now, let's really make it a thing?
Yeah, for sure. Like, we spent more money on the first music video than all music videos in our entire career combined. And it's one of those things that we deprioritized. We hated doing them. It was always just this afterthought. And we didn't really think that they mattered that much. I mean, I'm a little bit of an old man, so I was always telling young bands, like, they don't go home from the concert singing the music video. But which, is true. I think music should come first. I see a lot of young bands that spend more money on music videos than on making their album, like hiring a producer. I think that's backwards thinking, unless you just care about appearance first and substance second, but we're the other way around. This time, I mean, we're a bigger band than we have been in the past. We had a little bit of extra money to invest in it. And I thought everything in the world is driven on clicks and social media and video, When the gram came around, it was pictures instead of words. And then now it's video instead of pictures. So having access to that sort of, visual collateral to use across the campaign, across the next 2 years was important. And also because we'd never done it before, it's like, well, let's just do it and see if it makes a difference. There's no way that I can quantify right now, has investing in music videos changed the future of the band? I'll just know in a year or two and go, hey, there's no other reason why this has gone up. Probably the music video. Plus, it was fun to do, to try.
That was my question. Did you enjoy the process?
Did it change your
I did.
opinion?
Yeah, I mean, like doing it with Ben, with Third Eye and Todd, his producer, like their team are real pros.
Yeah, it looks sick.
Super organized. Ben and I would just start these chats about like, here's kind of where I'm coming from with the song and the metaphor that's being used. Like, this could be a cool little story, and riffing on that and coming up with ideas and then going, all right, let's go and do it. It was pretty fun. Keris was a long one, I think 4 days worth of shooting.
It looked fucking sick though. Like
Yeah,
I think we messaged
awesome.
you on Insta after being like, that looked sick though. Like,
yeah.
And also you guys acted.
Yeah, we're not very good at it, but we're getting.
I thought you did a great job.
See, and that's one of the things that that's one of the things that we pull apart, man, because it's easy to sit here and like react to a music video and talk about the music video. But one thing that we always pull apart is whether the guys in the band acting it out are convincing at all, because what's the fucking point of having all these visuals if it looks like they're not really sort of throwing themselves into these roles? And you guys nailed it.
Oh, thank you. I mean, yeah, there's a joke on set that Sean's the only one with acting experience because he did like a Jats cracker ad when he was like 7 years old.
Actually,
right. Full of experience.
That's so good.
Yeah, you can find. I'll send it to you after this. I found
please do.
Yeah,
So good.
It's where he got the money to buy like his first guitar when he was a kid.
That's so good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did you do any stuff like that when you were a kid?
Nah.
No, like
No,
none of
God,
the
no.
like, I don't know, modeling.
We need an ugly kid for this one.
Terrific. Yeah. So
That's
no,
it. That's
lots of
cool.
fun. Hopefully it adds something, gives us something to draw on too for like the live production, you know,
That
try
was
and
gonna be my next question. Yeah.
build this immersive experience for the fans. Like if you don't get to see a show, you know, I mean, if you're lucky, maybe you get to see the art show once every 2 years. We come to your part of the world. The videos are how you connect visually, aesthetically with the band. So now it gives us like another layer that we can try at least to incorporate in the live production, make sure it's an immersive experience.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
looking forward to seeing you try and pull off some of those rips
It's
in
gonna
full
be
combat gear.
So fucking hard, man. Like, so expensive, but
Have you actually seen any noticeable sort of like feedback in regards to how much effort you've put into the videos? Because I feel like that's something that's pretty sort of right now that you can actually gauge.
yeah, kids seem stoked on it, which is nice. But ultimately, you know, you look at Rain of Darkness and it's probably got like 20 million views on YouTube. It comes down to the song, and that music video made in like 4 hours, 12 years ago. And there's no weird story, there's no high production value, but the song is what's driving the views on that. So
having said that, if you released that today with that quality, you wouldn't get those views.
no, 100%.
Like you kind of have to go. Like I was talking with someone about this on social media the other day, being like, I just put no effort into some social content and just have it go off. And now I'm like, yeah, there's a 3-week planning period of getting this ready, and then it just bombs anyway. Like I feel like
you just have to be consistent and persistent with it.
Yeah. How do you go with utilizing that stuff for social content, not just on YouTube, where it's like, here's the song, the long form, but actually like sharing that stuff across onto the other socials? Is that part of the strategy when you're filming it?
Yeah, for sure. Like we will go through and clip things. I mean, you might not see a lot of it in the public facing area, but a lot of the advertising in different markets, we're using that video content to drive clicks for concert promotion, direct to Spotify campaigns.
Yeah, cool.
We run a lot of marquees through Spotify as well in different territories. So we get a lot of usage out of it, you know?
I guess that's
as opposed to just here's the static poster and
yeah.
You know, we're finding that the cost per click is going down on a lot of that stuff.
So maybe there is warrants putting more time and effort into those videos if
Yeah.
you're getting to use them for multiple avenues down the line.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can see it in real time in the ad manager, like different clips. This one's more popular. Cost per click is 50% cheaper. Like, and that's just saving you money in marketing. People don't understand that, you know, to do a tour of our size, marketing money might be $40,000 that we're putting into it.
Yeah.
And if that can now go twice as far or 3 times as far, it's like, I don't have 120 grand to dump on marketing this month, but if I can reduce my costs by 60%, then it's the same result at the end of the day. And we're getting that by having better quality content and more appealing stuff from the music videos and whatnot.
Did you have to learn that stuff? Was that something you were intuitive with, or was it just something you were interested in, so you picked up along the way when you were like starting it out?
I still have zero interest in it. I just have to know it to do my job.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a great opportunity to learn. You know, every day I'm running all of this stuff myself, so I'm seeing the data come in, the pricing.
Yeah,
and, it's just about testing.
And in regards to the songs, obviously the music videos are translating very well. How's the feedback for the songs actually been now that you've had a little while to sit on some of them?
Well, I mean, I try to not pay too much attention to online comments. I find that there's, you know, particular areas of your fan base are disproportionately more active on social media. I like to judge that more by concert attendance, because that's like the actual fans that are coming out and attending the shows based on their enjoyment of the music.
Yeah.
And that's been the biggest by far. So I'm starting now that a few of the streams have gone out to media, getting great feedback from them. But again, they're not, you know, representative of the crowd. So I don't know. I like it a lot. I hope that everyone likes it a lot.
At the end of the day, that's what matters.
Have you played much of it live yet? Like any of the new stuff?
I haven't played any of it live.
Oh, damn. No little teaser. Because you've toured since releasing.
Yeah, we just
one or
did
two.
that regional thing, but we were trying to incorporate as much of the Decade of Hate set as we could and take that to some of the more rural communities.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
That makes sense.
I'm keen to see how that feedback goes, like once you start putting it out.
Yeah, it could be a fucking disaster. Who knows?
I don't think so, man. I mean, like, I think that, you know, the metalcore and the heavy music scene in general has quite a lot of loudmouth fuckheads, to be honest. But they're very, yeah.
He's just talking about himself anyway, so that's fine.
They've got a loud voice, but they're a real small part of the metal community, to be honest. And
yeah,
the community is a lot more open and accepting and willing to, you know, take change on board than they get credit for, I think. Yeah, especially when you do see the reception at shows.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
They're still going to be there. Like, all the people that talk shit are still going to be there.
We clocked 28,500 pre-sale tickets for the tour at the end of next month already this morning. So,
wow.
Fuck yeah.
That's bigger than the final ticket sales at the end of most tours that we do in America and Europe.
Hell yeah.
Fuck.
How long is this tour?
How long is it?
Yeah.
It's for 4 weeks.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, so 1,000 tickets a day on average, and we still got, 7 weeks, 11 weeks till the final date of the tour. So a lot of time to sell in. We're selling about 350 tickets a day on average. So
have you had any of the venues sell out yet?
Yeah, a bunch of the venues have sold out, and then a bunch of them have sold out, and we've subsequently upgraded the venues.
I was going to ask what the caps are on these venues at the moment.
Biggest one's 3,800. London's 2,750. Manchester 2,525. A couple of big ones, and then a few of them we know we've upgraded them, and we know that there's no chance in hell of selling them out. But what it does allow is for kids in that area that do want to come to the show to be able to attend because it was sold. And also increases our ability to put on a production. You know, we could go and sell out these 900 capacity rooms and it's a small stage. Yeah. Or we can open it up and sell 1,600 tickets on a 2,000 capacity stage and put on a better show for them. So get to sell more tickets. Doesn't necessarily translate to us getting paid more money because the bigger venue comes with the bigger overhead. Yeah. But the quality of the experience that they'll get is better, and that's what matters to me.
I was going to ask if that's still a viable thing then to sort of, you know, not fill those bigger rooms, but it's kind of like an investment on future shows and production.
For sure. One venue, I increased the capacity, and then I actually got slugged with a €15,000 bill to increase the capacity. So it's like, I'm not going to make that back, but I sleep pretty well at night knowing that the kids that do go to that show are going to have a way, way better experience.
Yeah. I was talking to the dudes in Sleep Token after their last Oz tour because they weren't allowed to upgrade their venues.
They're the biggest band in the world right now.
Oh, it's insane. But they were saying we would pay to do it. They were literally like, no, you cannot do this. It must have been the time. There must have been everyone's kind of booked out or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But they're saying it's just the fans, the ones that miss out on that, is because they don't get to come to the shows. And it'd be the same thing for you guys.
Big bummer. I mean, we've ran into this problem in a few markets where we've sold a show out and there's nowhere to upgrade to. Every other venue booked out, or it's just not available. So you do what you can.
Are you dropping any more music before you start the tour?
In 6 days.
Oh, look out. Video?
Draft of the music video late last night. So
interesting.
We know
Tuesday morning for you.
Fuck yeah.
But we might actually launch that one in the evening to try and maximize coverage in Europe.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Blood Throne. Third single, and then we'll have a fourth single which comes out on release day, or maybe we'll do it a little bit before release day. Destroyer of Dreams, track 1 from the record. So
how do you enjoy because you guys are done with this, the more drawn out single release up to an album? Do you enjoy that process? Does it because you guys have been sitting on music for a while that way, do you feel like you still get the same experience rather than just remember back in the day, I remember when Meteora came out, Linkin Park, and they released one single, and then they released all the singles came out like months after the album was out.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't like the post-album release single. I think it's kind of pointless, except like for the fact that you do get a music video. But if it's a band that just releases some fucking "This Is Us" playing in a jam room and the album's been out for 4 months, I'm like, why? What's the point?
Well, you can use that kind of creative stuff to market or promote. Someone will do a press release and get more media. You can use it for driving advertising and whatnot. In terms of why it's quite drawn out, I mean, from release single 1 May 9th until release day September 15th is over 4 months long, but we are independent now, so we've got our own record label and it has one employee, and that is me. So
and he's lazy as fuck.
It's been drawn out because there's only so many hours in the day, and I knew ahead of time, like, I'm just going to be absolutely rammed. There's no way I'll be able to put it out in 8 weeks.
So it wasn't like a conscious, build it up for the people sort of thing.
Oh, well, that as well, but just trying to make the best of my limitations. I was on tour shooting music videos, flying backwards and forwards between here and the States, and rolling out the record and all the other stuff. So it's just been a lot of work, and I knew that it would be going into it, so decided to scatter things out a little bit longer than usual.
It's a pretty good forethought on yourself there, to not overwork yourself and not like, I mean, I know you're still working crazy hard on it, but to not like burn yourself out on it, because that's only going to make you resent it once it releases.
He's burnt out.
I'm absolutely cooked. But I'll tell you, the straw that broke the camel's back has been so much press in the last week of people that just go, "So what's the album about?" And I go, "Make a better question, man." Like, honestly.
That's why you come hang out with us. We'll tell you how good looking you are.
Yeah, we talk about your new haircut.
Yeah, I'll go and drink pretend beers with you guys, but like
Johnny will drink real beers.
Yeah.
Just so crazy. But just pacing myself, I understand my limitations and whatnot.
Look, on the whole media thing, like, I don't want to talk us up or anything, but I wonder now that there is so much of it out there. There's so much of this sort of shit out there, and we legitimately only do it the way we do it because we're way too fucking lazy and, bad at this to sit down and actually write questions out. I don't think we've ever written questions, ever, for anyone. We had to do it once, and that was for the first time we did Pale Dusk, and that was only because of the language barrier.
Yeah, they spoke Japanese.
Translation,
yeah. But like, what do you think is going on in people's heads when they ask you that question? They ask like questions that are just so mundane.
I think this is an argument against the over-democratization of various creative outlets, whether it be there's so many bands in the world, so many creators, so many podcasts, so many magazines, so many interviewers. Maybe there shouldn't be.
Do you think
my distributor told me there's like billions of minutes of music uploaded to Spotify every year, and a majority of it is mostly silence. Like, it's just people just spamming the system with all this crap to try and get some kind of clicks and some weird residual money by flooding, playlists with empty songs. And when you have too much of something, quality obviously slips away, and I think that's what brought us to that.
I think it's potentially people also who aren't fans doing it for the wrong reason. Like, people who like work for this publisher, we need you, this band's coming out, this is the thing we need to cover, so they do it because they have to do it. Like, you and I only do interviews with people who we actually want to talk with, or bands that we actually like.
True, but we've done chats with bands that haven't necessarily, like, I might love the band, but they might not be one of your favorite, and vice versa. But I think there's just still so much more to being in this position where you get to have these people on, where, like, for me anyway, I've taken it on board as it's my job to connect you with your fans as much as possible in a way that they haven't before, regardless of if I listen to you every single day or not. So if I was a fan and I wanted to know a certain thing about, a band that I was obsessed with, there must be fans out there of this person I'm talking to that want to know that same sort of shit. So that's the approach where I come from with it.
Yeah, and also you got to remember that you're selling your personality. Like you're going to get guests that are really boring like me, and that's where your personality comes to the fore. And if you're just a boring journo and you get a boring person like me, you're going to get a boring outcome. So, I think a lot of people think that they can just market their way into it and read enough self-help books to get their podcast off the ground and they're going to get all this affiliate marketing money. It's not the case. Like who you are is going to determine the potential, and then how you manage that will determine how close you get to reaching that potential.
So funny you said about like a
cool,
boring journalism with a boring guest. I know you're talking yourself down there because you're very modest, but I can actually see that being like the energy that would reflect if you got someone that has like clearly no idea what they're talking about. That must be so fucking hard to answer those questions or to give, because you're selling yourself every time you do one of these things. You're like talking about the band, you're there for a reason. Is that hard to be like, fuck, like I need to lift this because it's going to be a shit experience?
Sometimes I can, and sometimes if they're poorly researched and I can tell they don't want to be there, then, and yesterday I was doing press for 14 and a half hours. So
fucking hell.
Like my voice is just absolutely thrashed, and I get some guy that goes, "So what did you go in the studio to do?" And I said, "Record 10 songs, man." Like ask a better question, like, have an angle, take an approach, like try to get something out of me, because I can only try so hard for so long, and then
you get what you give.
Like, I just got this haircut, you dick. Ask about that.
Yeah, like, dude, I've been doing this all day, and you just pop in for your one interview, and that's your question. Like,
yeah, for sure. But I mean, they're obviously there because they're like, oh, this is a good guest. Like, this will help, spearhead whatever else I want to do.
In the future, I'm just going to convert Thy Art's YouTube account into a, how would you call it? A press conference.
Oh.
We'll just get the band on YouTube, and we'll have a little moderator, and they can ask the questions. We'll just answer them one by one. Go, all right, guys, we'll see you next year. Like, we're all done here.
It must be hard as well, because like you guys are, just genuine Australian dudes that like to have a laugh and so on and so forth. And it's like, it's hard to get your personality across, I guess, as much as you might like to in your genre of music, because you've got to have that abrasive, like brutal approach. And CJ loves to crack a joke on stage, but press is your chance to sort of let people know the sort of person you guys, the sort of people you guys are as well.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they get to know this super boring. They maybe next time they should come to the pub with me and Sean. And the other unfortunate thing is no one in my band will do any press. They refuse because they know how punishing it is. So I get stuck with it, and it's annoying. Sean was here earlier at my house. I go, actually, there's press starting now. Get downstairs in my office and start doing it. He goes, oh, I'm going home.
Next time you guys tour, we're going to come and we'll get the whole band in. We'll do something and we'll make it fun. We'll do something cool and try and convert them.
Get them out there. They're way more funny than I am.
No. See, this is the thing. You're not allowed to answer the questions, right? But we're going to ask them the most mundane questions possible.
Just fuck with them.
Yeah, just to fuck with them.
Dude, that would be epic. They would have no idea what to do.
That's a great idea.
Like, just walk them into a corner with the question, like, how many songs did you want to record for the new album? Be like,
what's your favorite song off the album?
Yeah.
Why?
Right, I challenge you. You have to ask questions that can only get a one-word response.
I don't mind that question. They're like, what's the favorite album? As long as you get a detailed response. I don't want to be like, and it's track 3, because it's heavy. Like, I like hearing what song means the most to you on this.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what's your favorite. Like, I like hearing that stuff.
See, yeah. I like the if you had to cut one song from the new album, what would it be? Yeah, that seems to fuck with people, because they don't.
Great question.
Which one would you cut? Are you allowed to say, because the track listing isn't out yet, is it?
Yeah, it's out.
Okay.
You guys are behind. I'll send you a copy of them. Just don't share it with anyone.
No. We can be trusted.
Yeah.
If you want it, I don't know. I don't want to give you.
Please send it over.
We don't even like the band.
We had to trade you the other night. We had you on our Short Fast Loud playlist, and we had to cut you from our playlist because you were too metal. They're like, no, that needs to be on the other metal show,
because it was on the Racket.
The Racket, there we go.
Oh yeah, Triple J.
But I tried to add you in. I tried to add Karis. It was my pick.
Had you there?
Thanks, fam.
Gotcha.
If I had to cut one, I'm gonna say I would cut. Ooh.
It's gonna be
hard question.
it's gonna be the one song he didn't write anything on.
No. Like thinking, would you cut it because it's the weakest, or cut it because it doesn't? There are other songs that won't be as successful, but I think contribute more to the overall vibe and progression of the album as a completed piece of art.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, if it's going to be cut, then it has to come out by itself, and it has to be strong enough to stand on its own two legs and be a single after the fact.
Exactly.
Lesson in Pain, track number 6.
Okay.
How do you go about setting up the? This is a dumb question. This is one of those questions, but I'm just curious to answer it anyway. How do you go about setting up like the track list, like actually like the structure, but from like start to finish? When you're writing the songs, is that a consideration of being like, and this is the song that I want to start the album with? This is an opening song. This is like a finisher. Do you have thoughts about that when you're writing, or is it just like after the fact you go, let's assemble them in the best way possible?
No, designing the sequence after the fact is one of my favorite parts, because you select it. Sometimes we have more songs recorded than what go on the album, so
Yeah.
calls like how this one with this one goes together, or this sets a great tone in the beginning. We do like track 1 and track 6 to both be album openers, and track 5 and track 10 to be album closers. Purely because we've got a lot of fans that buy vinyl. You've only got time to listen to one side,
That's
A or B. We want it to feel like it's its own completed work. Which is something, I guess, unique to the vinyl format.
Yeah, for sure.
We are thinking about that. And then we're not really writing towards having any particular part in the record. We're just making songs and trying to cover a whole different bunch of moods. With the exception that on Dear Desolation, I knew that Slaves Beyond Death would be the opener. The first word is go. You know, it has no relevance to any lyric in the song, but we just wanted that, you know, like
I like that. Yeah.
there was a is it At the Gates had that one song where he says something like that at the beginning, and it's just like, that's fucking metal, bro.
Corn, are you ready?
Yeah,
the classic
just something like that. It has nothing to do with the song itself, but sets the tone. And then Human Target, we got to the end of writing basically, and I didn't feel convinced that we had track 1 energy in the tracks that we had when we were about to start recording. So I went upstairs and wrote Human Target, and then
no way,
that was track 1.
Fuck.
Took like an hour too. Like it was just
love that,
you know.
Yeah, I need this thing. I'm just gonna do it instantly and nail it.
Yeah, I mean, it's lucky because you get to the end of recording, so you stop caring and analyzing your own work so much. You just go, okay, well, here it fucking is. Like,
it's also not something you're consciously thinking about when you're writing songs. You're just trying to write the best song you can. But
yeah,
but you still need that certain something to kick an album in or to finish an album.
Yeah, exactly. We just, I felt at least that we didn't have a convincing opener, and went upstairs and whipped that one up, and we were ready to go.
Thank you for answering that dull question in an interesting way. You did really well.
That's okay. Designing the album sequence is really one thing that I'm passionate about. So,
how do you like making playlists? Like, not your own music? Are you like someone that like really sits and considers playlists?
No, never.
That's interesting.
I don't listen to music, so I don't like make playlists.
Sure.
I did have to make a biographical playlist, some biographical playlists for some podcasts and stuff that I've appeared on. And I had to make one for one of my friends recently because they were like, you don't listen to any music? Tell me all the music that you ever listened to in order. And I was like, okay. So I made them a playlist.
It has 7 songs on it.
I was trying to do a deep dive on my psyche.
So the not listening to music thing, though, is that just because you just don't have time and you spend so much of your time working on music and touring that you just need to step away from it? Because I've said this to you, since doing this and going to 3 times more live music than we ever did, like I listen to I listen to way less music than I used to.
Yeah.
It's usually just podcasts.
I disagree. I reckon you listen to more music. You just don't listen to as many albums.
No, I listen to way less on Spotify and stuff now. It's usually
because
podcasts.
we do this. We sit and do how many songs a week. That's gonna
exactly.
I don't know. Some people think that I'm a psychopath for not listening to music. Will doesn't listen to music really either. We just sit in front of our computer and work in silence, or unless we're working on music and then we're getting bombarded by speakers and it's annoying. But I don't know. It's just, I like working in silence with my thoughts and focusing. I think whenever I'm doing something, I like to focus on it to the maximum. And if I had music on that I enjoyed, then it would be distracting to me.
Yeah, it might take your
So,
attention.
from time to time, I will go and put something on the record player upstairs and just sit there and listen to it.
So
But
what's that?
Sitting in my chair next to it, drinking my old fashioned at 11 o'clock at night, and then I go to bed. Like, I don't have music on. I would listen to like less than 2 hours of music a week for sure, easily.
Wow.
Well, I listen more than that every day.
Nah, I couldn't do it.
It's kind of part of what we do now, though. Like, it's actually, I listen to more music because that, like, sends the album. I will go through and listen to that album 10 times ahead of release because I actually want to be able to like talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, and that forms part of your vocation too. Like, I do listen to music quite actively from time to time, but I consider that work time. Considering a support band, I'll go through and find parts of their discography and go, yes or no. If bands send me a submission of the label, then I'll check it out sometimes. But no, I'm not. I don't just have Spotify on in the background. And even if I did, it would all just go to that Throne hardcore band. I don't know if you guys are having that problem. Like, you end on the same band from, I think they're from the UK. They're really tiny. And I think Craig Reynolds has some theory that they have some friend at Spotify or they're paying
just
something.
linking them in.
Really?
They end up on, if you listen to Spotify and listen to any heavy music, Throne will end up in your playlist within an hour.
That's fucking brilliant.
Don't agree with that purely because I do listen to a lot of music and I have not had them come up. But maybe my algorithm is because I listen to so much different stuff. Maybe I'm not quite at that.
Yeah, I don't think that you're quite as heavy as I am, maybe.
Well, yeah, I definitely. I mean, I listen to heavy stuff, but I also have pop stuff in there. Like I listen to like a full spectrum of things. I saw a thing the other day talk about like industry plants, and I thought this was fucking interesting. I'm going to butcher this story, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. It's they were saying like there's these certain bands that get these major supports, and you go and like it might have been Foo Fighters or someone, and it wasn't Wet Leg because Wet Leg is a band that Foo Fighters love. It was someone anyway, and they're like they got the support. And then if you go look at their Spotify beforehand, they have like 30,000 like monthly listeners, but they've got certain songs that have like millions and millions of plays, but they don't have full albums out or anything. And then they get this huge support. And they're like, why do these people get them? And they're like, yeah, it's because they're connected to someone in that industry. And I can't remember what band it was. There was like a full playlist. They broke it down being like, this person here in this band is brothers with this person and they own this company. And that's why that happened. And so there's like, it's essentially like boy band manufacturing.
That stuff happens all the time. No, there's no point getting upset about it. I just worry about what I can control. And
well, I think if it's a good band, fuck it. I don't care. If it's a good band, I get to accept. Yeah, great. But it's when they're shit bands, that's when it sucks. Like you shouldn't get that support because you didn't.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
So what do you listen to at the moment then? What's one thing that if you were to like right now, you finish this up, you get an old fashioned, go sit by a record player. What's a band that you're listening to right now that you think other people should be listening to?
Throne.
Schweffelgelb. No, not that band. Schweffelgelb is pretty cool. It's like
Schweffelgelb. It's a fun name. How's it spelled?
Something like SCHWEFELGLB, maybe something like that. I don't know, some German stuff. It's like hard electro. It's like super, super heavy.
Like heavy as in dubstep or heavy as like metal influenced or
I don't know that they're metal influenced, but Sean and I would have been jamming a lot in the last year and we're like, dude, this is metal. It's
cool.
It's heavy.
I'm gonna look
pretty atonal. Maybe chuck it on when you're at the gym or something.
Yeah,
I trained once.
Scroll through my Spotify.
Schweffelgelb.
It's all just a bunch of bands that I have been looking into with respect to maybe we'll take them on tour.
Ooh.
And that's
found any sick bands that people should know about lately?
Any new bands?
Yeah.
Nothing's like got me real excited lately. And that's not to say that there's no exciting things. I'm just very difficult to excite, as you may have noticed.
So when you're picking, what are you talking about? So when you're picking like support bands, though, what is it like? Because this might help someone who wants to play with you guys one day. What are you looking for specifically? What's some things that stand out to you? Because you've listened to so much fucking music now.
Yeah, and maybe it'll help them understand why I can't build the perfect lineup for just their taste specifically every time we play specifically in their neighborhood. Comes down to lots of things. You know, I'm taking into consideration like their positioning in the industry, like bigger than us, smaller than us, how much smaller than us, how do I put a value on that? How do I quantify that? Diving into Spotify data, diving into record sales, diving into previous touring history, trying to do like your research and get as good a picture as you can about what would that band do if they were just coming by themselves. And then that gives you an idea of where they may be on a lineup. Obviously, there's another great filter. Do I like them or not? Or does the rest of the band like them, or will our fans like them? Is there some sort of overlap? Obviously, that's probably the first filter. Like, I could go, oh, Taylor Swift, she's got pretty good numbers. Yeah, we'll get her on a tour. Like, not relevant to us, and
support, obviously.
Yeah, grossly unaffordable. Yeah, I will actually call my uncle Jono up and say, can you give me $1 billion and we're going to give it to Taylor Swift to support us? Like, so, you know, going through those filters, and then, you know, then comes the negotiation process. Like, you start looking at various macro conditions. Is the Australian dollar strong? Is it weak? Like, how much does this band need to make this happen? Is the price of flights up or down?
Is that getting better now?
No, it's not
still hard.
I mean, it has gotten better, but you know, it's not ideal.
Yeah,
we're in an export market right now, not in an import market for those playing at home, for music at least. So then you got to take all of those things into consideration. This is the projected budget of the tour. Will these bands that are affordable sell the tickets, or do we need to spend more money? But then we actually make less money because we sell more tickets, but they cost 150 grand to play 5 shows. And you go, and then availability too. Yeah. I could have a team lineup and I find this great lineup, and this band goes, oh, we got in a fight with that band 5 years ago. We won't do a tour together. Or they supported us, so we won't play under them in a different month. Or we're really busy then, or we've got to make an album. And then you get what you're left at the end of all this filtration, and then you have to rationalize, is this a good enough lineup to warrant selling the tickets in these venues that I've had to hold 18 months before because everyone's booking so many tours, and then you go, oh, I don't know if it will be, or maybe it will be bigger. I don't know. And then people complain like, why aren't you coming to my house? And I don't like that venue. Can you play the other venue? It's like, oh gosh. So there is a lot that goes into it. I don't look forward to doing it because it's just a lot of backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And, you know, and then even my own band is like, why don't you just get that band? I go, buddy,
fuck you.
We actually discussed this 3 months ago and they can't do it. And they go, oh, okay.
Maybe you could have locked me if I wasn't doing press for all fucking week.
Yeah. So that's how tours get put together.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. I don't want you to name drop unless you don't give a shit. Has there been any band that you've thought this band would be a great fit? They seem like decent people. Let's give it a go. Taken them on tour, met them, and for whatever reason, they've been absolute douche canoes, and you've said, I will never have that band on a tour again.
Oh, so many.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, there's a great law of touring. If you can't find the dickhead on tour, you're the dickhead. There is always one, and it's generally pretty easy to find them. And, you know, you can't always avoid them. And it's not always, sometimes it's just one guy in the band, you know, when you love everyone else in the band, and you got to make that call. Like, do you want to do that tour because they're going to be a punisher every day, or they're going to be rude to people on your staff? You know, we're fortunate that we have agency over ourselves with respect to that. We're not beholden to some other manager who made some other deal with this other guy. Now you have to do a tour with your worst enemies. Like, we generally with people that we like, and most people in the music industry are very, very kind people that are just trying to live out their dream the same as you and me. So it's pretty rare, but you do find them, and you just try and avoid them in the future.
My friend has a theory that everyone in this world is either a dickhead or an idiot. And I think it's really fun when you start breaking down like people that you know.
Which one are you?
What do you think?
Both.
Which we know there is some people are both. What would you say about yourself?
Dickhead, idiot.
Is our screens flipped? I don't know which one you're pointing at.
Johnny, idiot.
You'd probably be right.
Yeah, 100%. That's how I would say it too.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, it's easy to pick the idiot first. And you can make up anyone can find any reason for anyone to be a dickhead.
Well, the thing is, if you're not an idiot, you have to be a dickhead.
Yeah, I guess so.
I have idiotic moments, but I think I'm more of a dickhead than I am an idiot.
Yeah, I'm definitely a dickhead.
You're definitely a dickhead. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm too much of a people pleaser, I think. I don't like to let people down or make people upset.
Oh,
Yeah.
like the Winnie the Pooh.
And he's not wearing pants, which
Yeah.
fucking sucks for me.
And I eat a lot of honey.
Yeah.
Ooh. Did you see the Winnie the Pooh live action movie?
The horror thing?
The horror one?
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
No, it was the fucking worst. It's pretty gross and pretty gory, but it's literally one of the worst things you'll ever watch, but you can't help but sit through it. It's just...
Watch me not watch it.
So this is how bad it is.
Might avoid that.
There are shots where you can actually see that they're wearing masks over their heads, and he doesn't actually have bare hands. He's wearing gloves, like yellow gardening gloves.
Wait, but isn't the concept it was like a murderer that just dressed up as Winnie the Pooh?
No.
Oh, is it supposed to be?
No, it's actually Pooh.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, Tigger, Eeyore, all that sort of shit.
Yeah, no, I won't be watching that.
100%.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half.
We've kept you for way too long. You're just rambling about shit, and you've done too much press. But
That's okay.
it is always a genuine pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
Yeah. Can you drop when we might see you guys playing in Australia again?
I'd say in the first half of next year.
Cool. If you were a betting man.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Me either.
That's too far away. That's so long away.
I'm looking at 2026, so it's not too far away. So early next year means that I'm quite far into the discussion. So we'll see what I can put together in the next few weeks.
Beautiful.
There's a few plates spinning at the moment.
Let us know when you start planning it, because we'll start planning something to really fuck with the rest of the band.
I've already begun planning it. I'll text you the.
How'd you come up with the name Thy Art is Murder?
Ask them what the name Thy Art is Murder means to them, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
really.
that's a good one. What does it mean to you? What?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much, dude. Always a pleasure.
No worries.
Fucking looking forward to hearing the album.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yes.
We'd love to get
I'll
this.
send it over.
We can release this before. We didn't talk about anything that's coming out, so that's fine. We can release this whenever we want. Badasses.
Do as you wish.
Cool. All right, my dude. Have a
Thanks,
wonderful evening. We'll speak to you soon.
Peace.
Go on. Bye-bye.